Attention fitness coaches, how do you stand out in a saturated and crowded marketplace? This is the biggest question I get because there's literally, a gazillion coaches on every street corner, it seems like. So how do you separate yourself so that you can dominate? I want to give you 5 things that really have served me, that helped me stand out in a very competitive muscle building space when I was full force running all my fitness businesses. And this is the same advice that I give my students who are just getting started. How do you cut through the noise? How do you get seen? How do you get attention without being somebody that you're not? So let's dive in. 5 tips for you. And if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Vince Del Monte. I have a coaching program called the 7-Figure Mastermind that serves fit pros, whether they're starting, growing, or scaling, and we help you build high-ticket businesses online and get paid for what you're worth. We teach you how to attract people, convert people, and deliver to people so that you can have freedom and financial security. So let's dive into those 5 tips, and I'll start off with my favorite one. People buy coaches and not coaching. What you want to understand is that people buy people. All right, people don't buy your magic wand. All right, they don't buy your certifications. They buy your story. They buy your pain. They buy your past because they relate to it. It's what makes you believable. It's what makes you real. It's what humanizes you. And right now, we live in a world where people are craving connection. They want to have relationship. Even people that put on a front that project masculinity and, hey, I don't need other people. Those people are probably craving it the most. And when people hear somebody's story that they can relate to, they have what's called a me too moment. They go, me too. Oh my God, that happened to you too? And if you go through my old fitness videos, you'll hear me tell tons of stories, arm wrestling stories and getting pinned by the strongest guy in high school and being shut down by one of the hottest girls in school and, cursing at God because my forearms were too small. And I've got all these stories where people would say, Vince, I can't believe that was your experience. That was my experience too. So why do they hire me instead of hiring an IFBB pro bodybuilder? My story gives them hope. So the very first thing is to sell, again, who you are. Don't sell all your certifications. Don't sell all the letters behind your name. Those are just bonuses. Those are just perks. What they're really asking in their mind is, do I trust this person? Have they walked a mile in my shoes already? Number 2, describe the market's pain better than they can describe themselves. Now, when you can describe somebody's problems better than they can describe themselves, they will immediately associate you with the person who has the solution. So a big part about standing out is being able to describe the struggle. All right, when you talk about the struggle and you talk about how, you've tried every arm training program in the book, you've done double days, you've done 5x5, you've done drop sets, you've done cluster sets, blah, 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 and you still can't grow your arms, now you have somebody's attention because oh my gosh, I tried all those programs too. I'm doing high volume, high intensity, high frequency, high calories, and I'm still at 15-inch arms. When I tell those stories, right, I can't make those stories up. People say, oh my gosh, you have that problem too? Oh my gosh, how did you solve it, right? So simply by being able to describe the problem in pictures, people will trust you more, and then they're gonna be engaged with what you might have next, hopefully a solution. Number 3 is to own your journey. A big mistake I've seen people make, and I've made this mistake myself, was trying to be somebody I'm not. The reason I built my muscle building brand, No Nonsense Muscle Building, because I was raw and I was real. All my content was just me, mostly off the cuff. It was what works. Hey guys, doing this today because I tested this out and it got great results. And then I started hanging out with guys who are much smarter than me, and I started to get intimidated. And I started to think that, oh shoot, in order for my content to be more effective, I need to start dropping more PubMed studies. I need to start talking with certain lingo. And guess what? I started to contradict myself. I started to attract haters. I started to confuse people following me. I started saying things that didn't make sense. And what you want to do is you want to find anything that could be seen as a weakness and you want to position it as a strength, right? I've studied more arm information than anybody else on the planet because I've got the worst arm genetics in the world. Why are you listening to these other guys who woke up with 17-inch arms? What in the world can they teach you on building their arms? They're genetic freaks, all right? So then people start to say, oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe I should pay attention to him. So you own your weaknesses, all right? If you're at the beginning of your journey, you might be able to say, listen, I don't have a big, massive 1,000 person coaching program. I'm looking for my first 5 clients. That is an advantage. Own that. Hey, I'm just getting started. I'm going to pour more time and attention into my first 5, my first 25 clients than you can imagine, because all I'm committed to is getting 25 mind-blowing transformations. Number 4 is use transparency to your advantage. People will admire you for your strengths, but they will connect with you on your weaknesses. That's transparency. That's authenticity. And it's being open about, hey, listen, if you want to be a pro bodybuilder, I'm not your guy. Like, I don't know how to get that big. If you want to be lean and muscular all year long, I can definitely help you. And being okay with saying, hey, if you're looking for this really, complicated, cycling plan with your calories, I'm not your guy. We keep things really, really simple. All right. Or hey, if you're looking for these fancy gourmet meal plans, we actually just eat a lot of bland and boring foods. I'm not your guy if you're looking for that. So use transparency in your marketing, because man, it just screams when you see all these people faking it. You don't know who to trust. When somebody just comes out and says, hey, this is what I do best. I told people my workouts are the best. I love my abilities to write a skillfully designed program. I never got complaints about my program design. I was not a nutrition expert. I know about nutrition, but I wouldn't consider myself a nutrition expert. Could I coach you? Absolutely. Could I write a meal plan? Absolutely. Could I tweak your macros and do that? But I just, deep down, I don't feel like I'm the most qualified person. So I stayed in my lane, and I would talk to people about that. Hey, we got amazing meal plans, but if you're looking for a world-class nutrition coach, like, I'm not your guy. If you're looking for a badass muscle building program or fat loss program, boom, we got all those. I'm your guy. So be transparent about what you're good at. All right. The last one, number 5, is to live and breathe your brand. Live and breathe your brand. You should not have to sell your services. What they see should sell your services. For me, it's interesting. Last summer, my business saw a big boost when we were traveling through the US. Now, why was that? Because I believe that one of my big selling points is, hey, if you start an online business, you're gonna have more freedom. I can talk about freedom all the time, but if you see me in my basement 365 days a year, you might start to wonder, does he actually have any freedom? But when you see me traveling through the US and going to concerts and going out with my wife and working 3 days a week, when you see that, you're like, wow, this guy actually has freedom. Wow, it's believable. That's all we're saying here. So live and breathe your brand so that it's believable, all right? If somebody is shredded all year long and he's preaching intermittent fasting, at one point you're gonna finally say, maybe I should give this intermittent fasting thing a whirl. So we wanna use undeniable social proof, epic demonstration of proof with visuals, you, the walking billboard of your brand, as the messenger of your message. Does that all make sense? I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat below. These are all things that you can start implementing right away, and I would love to see if I can help you implement them in your business, even on a more one-on-one level. If that's something you're interested in, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook and we can have a chat to see if it makes sense to get you involved in one of our coaching programs. And if this was good enough for you today, I'm grateful for your attention. Thank you so much. Drop some comments below or share this with a friend who'd benefit from this video, and we will see you next time. Peace out.